recap, we have a copy of the agenda. So we call the meeting to order. We're gonna just do some real quick board introductions.
Okay.
And I have our welcome. So this is our current board list. Some of us are outgoing board members. So I am Val. And I'm just gonna have a couple people's names and have them stand up. So Holly has been our vice president for the last 3 years?
I don't remember.
I think 3. Courtney, wave or stand up. Courtney Terry. Courtney has been our board secretary for 3 years now, I believe. Think so? Yeah. David. David is our treasurer. David is very much loved and appreciated. Donna Cyrus. Yay, Donna. Beth can't be here tonight, but she's still on the board. Beth Pastor, she's a McKinnville resident and big supporter of all of our programs, I think. Bonnie. Yes, Bonnie. Kyle's back there manning the camera. Bye. Britt Blocks. Britt's a New York board member, and she's been very helpful this year. And our newest board member just started a couple months back. So we have an election ongoing. Some of you turned in paper ballots here. Some people went online and voted on the online ballots, the same ballots, same options. And so if you haven't voted or turned in your ballot, come drop it in up here or go online if you wanted to do that instead. We're going to close the ballots at 6:45. And later in the evening, we will announce the probably not surprising election results. It was a very small, we didn't have a lot going on for that this year, unlike last year where we had a whole lot of revisions. So that was a very big event. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to give a, brief-ish president's report. Normally, and the last few years when we've done this part of the meeting, I talked about what we did for the past. Can you all hear me? Okay, how do I have back? I talk about what we did for the previous year. And this year, I'm going to be talking briefly about what we've done in the last 5 years. And that's partly because, as most of you probably know, but some may not, this is my last year on the board. I am actually stepping off effective today. My term ends now. And I've been on the board for 5 years, and I've been president for 3. And I told the board a year ago that this was going to be my last year. So we've been making transition plans, and I'm convinced that we are in a good place with that. But I was thinking about, what did we do this past year and what we've done over the last few years. And we really come a long way in 5 years through a lot of changes that have happened and a lot of kind of chaos in the outside world that affected our programs. So I kind of just wanted to touch on some of that. When I joined in late 2019, we were meeting at Kearns Gallery, if you guys know that space, in the back room. Everything was paper. We used to show up and get the agenda handed to us, the financial reports. We didn't look at those ahead of time. We just reviewed them then. Everything was very kind of analog because that is how it had been in kind of the previous few years. And of course, then in March of 2020, we got thrown into the pandemic. And everything had to go online. So we started doing Zoom board meetings. And for probably about a year, I think we went up by Zoom. And as part of that, as we're kind of following on that in late 21, we learned that several board members who'd been on the board for a long time, like Sally Dallas and Chris Horn and some others, that they were all leaving, which I had become secretary already. And that was terrifying, honestly. These people who had all this institutional knowledge, and they were going to be leaving. And we did have several people, several of whom were here tonight, who'd been involved with the organization for a long time. But what we didn't have was sort of like a written record of how we did things. Everything from like financials to, how do we do the annual membership drive? How many envelopes do we need? When does it happen? So there was this kind of like lack of a place where all of this was documented, so that we could look at that and do these things that we had to do and not reinvent the wheel every time. So one of the things that I took on was the idea of creating an organizational handbook. And that is basically just a written repository of everything, our programs, what are our programs, one of the issues we've had with new board members in the past is that when we join, you guys still hearing me okay? Okay. When we've joined, it's taken a while to get up to speed because it's a fairly complex organization with a lot of projects, and we wanted to help board members get up to speed faster. And also just, again, have a place where we could make sure that we were following the rules that we need to as a 501c3, and just make it easier to do the work that we do since we're all volunteers. So we created this handbook, which is still an ongoing kind of work in progress. It's meant to be a living document where we add attachments. I actually finished up my work on it today. Holly, I'll see some more in there. And so that's a place where the board members can go and check and see what our policies are, what our programs are. It's just meant to be a document to hold everything about us. The other really important thing that we did over the last few years relating to sort of the digital world, well, two really big things. One was that we created an organizational Google Drive. Prior to 22, everything that we had that was digitized lived on a OneDrive owned by Sally Dallas, who, when she left the board, were like, well, that's not going to be accessible. So we created an actual AAYC nonprofit Google Drive, and the board has used it ever since. We have the emails. That's why you see the emails coming from us at aayc.org. We have a place where we can all work on documents together. We have a place we can keep all of our important, like our original 501c3 documents, all of that kind of stuff. It's been really amazing. And we have some new things we've added recently. Holly recently created a project management tool that is so helpful. That lives in there. So this has been really good for keeping us organized. Around the same time that we did that, we also did a major website update, which Holly also is in charge of. And that was really wonderful. So we have, all know our new 3 years ago address. And websites really do need to be updated about every 3 to 5 years because otherwise they look outdated. And Holly's done a great job of keeping us up to date. So following on some of that stuff, we realized that we had some legal work to do. The bylaws of a 30-year-old organization have to be updated periodically because laws change regarding nonprofits. So things like online meetings or online votes or all different kinds of things. So we worked with the Center for Nonprofit Law at Eugene, and last February, the members voted on a major bylaws revision to sort of bring our bylaws into the current day and be up to speed according to rules by the state of Oregon. Along with that, we wanted to bring on some programs instead of having them be based out of the board members necessarily in AAYC, although that's still a way that programs can happen, we wanted to be able to bring on outside programs. So we worked on having a fiscal sponsorship policy and application or agreement. And we also worked on having policies as part of that. I think up until that point, we had almost no organizational policies. So we did a lot of this work that was necessary, that didn't need to be done when we were a smaller organization. But as we get bigger, we want to make sure that we are sustainable and that we are following the rules that we need to do. We need to follow. Doing the fiscal sponsorship agreement led us to add our first new program in several years, which was Make Music McMinnville, which we have some representatives here tonight that we'll hear from. So that was really great. And another program-related addition we've had in the last couple of years was bringing our partnership with the McMinnville Short Film Festival, where AAYC is now sponsoring the locals category with a prize for the locals film, which before that was the only category that didn't have a prize. So that is really exciting and hopefully is bringing in more filmmakers, local filmmakers, to participate in that. Finally, the financials area is a really important one. We have a budget of about $100,000 a year now, and we need to make sure that the money is being handled appropriately and safely, and it's being tracked, and everything is documented. And as most of you probably know, that our treasurer and bookkeeper were the same person up until a year ago. And when Cassie, our wonderful treasurer bookkeeper, left rather suddenly, we were sort of left. We had been planning to transition to having a new bookkeeper, but that didn't happen. And so we were sort of left trying to figure out what to do and trying to hold place till we kind of got everything going. And David stepped into the treasurer role very admirably. And we have a bookkeeper now. Her name's Brittany McDonald, and she's at H&R Block. And so between the two of them, the financials have been tracked. We are still working on a lot of details, some working with all of our programs to have meetings to make sure like all of the categories are straightened out, because even from before we had some work to do with that. And those meetings have some of them have happened and some of them are scheduled, and that'll all be getting ironed out in the next month or two. But we feel confident that nothing has gotten lost and everything is where it should be. So that is really good after kind of the upheaval that we had last year. So with that, I just want to say a couple more words, and I wanted to thank a few people specifically. One of those people is David, because yay, let's give him David. David is our treasurer, and he joined the board kind of at my begging a couple years back, with the knowledge that we were probably going to need a treasurer, and he was upfront about maybe that wasn't his background, but he is a very, very smart mind, very good systems thinker, and I think he's done an incredible job, having been thrown into the deep water with barely something to hang on to. So thank you, David. I appreciate it. And he said it all with a good sense of humor. So other thank yous I had just real briefly. I wanted to thank, here's my other sheet. Courtney and Holly have been on the board as long as I have. I think, Courtney, you might now be the longest standing board member left hard at board.
Isn't it? I think that's true.
Yeah, going out now you will be. So, but both of them had my back all since I've been on here for 5 years, and they are both wonderful. They get everything done, and they both have really great attitudes, and I just appreciate them so much. Great. Next. Britt and Bonnie. Bonnie's been on the board for about 2 or 3 years. She's done a lot of work in the education program. And Bonnie, this is Bonnie's last. Bonnie's leaving us as of today also, so she is an outgoing board member. And Britt is a newer board member, and she's kind of taken on the role of doing our membership, especially the membership newsletter, and working on some other aspects to bring more value to our members. So, and we'll acknowledge both of them. Okay. Kyle, as I said, Kyle helped. I don't know if I said this, but Kyle was instrumental in bringing the Short Film Festival partnership to us. So, and Kyle is just kind of a bundle of energy, and his role at head of MCM, the Monroe Community Media, has made him kind of a wise advisor. I kind of go to him for some what do we do? So, Kyle, I want to acknowledge Kyle. It's fun. And Beth, who's not here, and Donna. Donna's also an outgoing board member, along with me.
But currently the oldest. Longest.
Currently not oldest, or oldest. Barely the longest term. And both of them are just kind of steady, guiding hands. I appreciate that, Donna and Beth as well. When I've needed advice about things, or we have something going on at the board meeting, and they're always just sort of like, well, what about that? And they're just super helpful. So thank you guys. Thank you all so much. And Sean is our new board member who had not been able to interact with much, but I'm very happy you're here, and I look forward to seeing what you do. So, Sean, thank you. Couple real quick thank yous. I just want to thank all the program leads too, and they're all going to stand up and talk about their programs. But actually, right now, why don't you all stand up for just a moment? Lisa, Deb, James. Adele's not here, I believe. And then we have 2 Make Music folks, Todd and Freddie, because the Hal is not here. Let me say, I think so. Thank you, guys. And I want to say especially thank you to Lisa as a past AAYC president. Lisa's kind of sat down with me a few times and been like, don't freak out. And just given me lots of good advice. And also, James Nelson has been really helpful. We've had coffee a lot at Mac Market, and his just enthusiasm and passion has been really inspiring. So with that, I will turn it over to David, who is going to talk about our financials. David, you want to come on up and take the mic?
Okay.
GJ?
No, I have no idea.
Please go up to the next slide and just turn this on and talk.
Okay. Well, let me just see. Can people hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to go with the...
My equal counter. Can you hear okay, Kyle?
It's okay. Yeah, David talks fine. Speak.
I will speak loud. So this is our balance sheet. When I first joined in as treasurer last year, we did have some issues with being able to track everything. Val brought up that we actually have a great partner right now from H&R Block, and we're doing a really good job, I think, now of being able to track our balance and our budget for next year. We are right now almost, across the board, having more income than expense. So we're doing really good with that. One thing that we have changed recently with our financials is we now have reserve funds for the programs. Previously, we were doing that for Art Harvest because they have separate bank account, but we're now, I think prior to this, Cassie did not always want to, she wanted to have, just general funds for everybody. But now we're doing this. This also means we're probably going to have to probably increase some of our fundraising. Not really my point to talk about, but it's an implication moving forward that as we have more reserve funds, we will need to figure out how to replenish our general fund. That's most of what I want to talk about. Other than, when I was kind of given this position, I actually will talk about this as well. I'm going to let Holly, you talk to this slide in a second.
Yeah, it's ready.
I'll leave it up. When I came in, I really cannot stress enough how little knowledge I had coming in here. I like to think of this as a strength. I'm not sure it really is. I've done a lot of consulting over the years where I've told people that my complete lack of knowledge of their business is a really good thing. And a lot of people believe that. So hopefully, moving forward, I plan to actually document this because as much fun as this is, I think maybe a couple more years will be all I can handle. And then I'm hoping that the next person who comes on is able to take over a little more seamlessly than I was able to. Great, thanks.
Thank you. As you can see, Gick is amazing sense of humor. He really does a good sense of humor. And so if you know anyone who would love to be a treasurer in waiting, let us know, because luckily the good news is now that we have it all coordinated with H&R Block and with Brittany, that this will be able to be a much easier process, to go forward. And I know we still have some programs that we're working on, but those meetings are in the works. You guys are next, MMM, Make Music McMinnville, because I think it's really important for us to make sure that we're really all in line and have all of our numbers together. So I did some calculation based off of some of our numbers and wanted to articulate and show the members where our overhead is versus our impact. And when we talk about the overhead and the money that comes into from the programs and comes in from the general funds and the business that we do, you can see here that our administrative costs are just under 5%. And if you know anything about nonprofit ratings, if you can keep your general funds under 5%, you're really good. Most organizations that are in the nonprofit are somewhere around 10% on an average. But the ones that are really good are the ones that are under 5, where you really want to put your money. So I'm just mentioning that to people because we're always looking for more fundraising into our programs. The other thing is that because we had to make that transition, there was an additional 2.18% for bookkeeping. Our board is a volunteer working board. All of us do this we all have jobs, or we all do other things, whether we're retired and we paint, or we have full-time corporate jobs. It doesn't make any difference, or we're working for 3 different jobs, Sean. It really doesn't matter. The point is that the hours that we invest in AAYC of our own time last year was 447 hours. That's a lot of hours to volunteer. And if you put a dollar amount associated with that, and that's just based on fair market value, that I did a search, right? It's not like I came up with some magic industry standard. I did a search to see what the average fair market value is per board volunteer time. It's almost $15,000, so that's nice to be adding back to the value of this organization. So every dollar donated is primarily used for the programs. And if you look back to the numbers that are here, you can see almost every program is either on budget or ahead of budget. Right? And I think that's a really important piece to point out is that we stay within our means. And if we don't have our means for the programs, then that's where some of our money comes out of our balance sheet. And we, as the organization, have been keeping a nest egg that we've been collecting to make sure that we can protect these programs. And we can ensure that these programs are successful in the hard times, which we may be finding some hard times this year. We don't really know what's going to happen, right? So I just thought I'd point that out. So if you guys have any questions or if you want to see any more details, all members are allowed to ask to see more details on our financials. And I will also mention that if you really are interested in seeing, we also need some non-board members who might be interested in helping with oversight. It's very important for us to be able to, now that we're in the system and we've got a good system running, it's very important for the future for us to make sure that we have an oversight committee that can help us from a financial standpoint. Because it's one thing to have David do it with Brittany. That's sort of an oversight right there. You've got an outside organization who's running the bookkeeping. David, who's working with the programs to make sure the financials are flowing correctly. The board who's looking over it. But then to have another set of eyes look at it and say, maybe you're not really handling this right. Maybe you're missing something here. So it's important. So I wanted to just show quickly the structure of our organization so you get an understanding of how we flow. We have board-funded and managed programs. So it's the Teachers Arts Grant. You'll hear about that as well as the high school scholarships, our education grant, scholarship that we do. And announcing, look, see, I put a little yellow star in there to point it out too. We have partnered with Recology, and Kane, would you like to stand up and just say hello?
Hi everyone, nice to meet you all.
Recology has actually come to us for a 4-month residency for 2 artists with $1,000 a month, plus other perks like access to their resources and all of that kind of stuff to do upcycle art.
It's cool, no kid.
It's an amazing program. Applications are open now. You can find them on our website. Little hint, there's a new place on our website called Open Opportunities. So all our grants, all of our programs, all of our open calls, like Paper Gardens is there until Paper Gardens closes, et cetera, et cetera. So this is there. If you want the link, just go to AAYC.org and you'll be able to see it. Then we have our board financial partnerships and sponsorships. These are where we are actually funding or partnering with these programs to make them happen, to help them sustain them, to help sustain them. So we participate in these programs. And then we have, of course, our programs that are committee managed. And those are our Harvest Studio to our Terroir, Paper Gardens, and Make Music McMinnville. And you'll hear from them. I will make a little call out that we are looking for someone or to multiple someones to help us, to help Arts Alive TV. The producer, Mike, will be stepping down. He's looking to retire from that program. And we would love, if anyone is interested, there's a call out there for a producer. I can give you more information on that later if you'd like.
I had a question. The one year email, is that the Loudoun Festival?
Chris, you know what? That's yes, you're right. It is. It's the Loudoun Festival. Okay. Thank you. Portion of the Loudoun.
And Holly, can I make a comment real quick?
Yes.
We're also looking for a studio director for the writing life as well.
Are we?
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know.
Studio director moved out of town. We're handling it right now, but if somebody wants to learn technical studio directing for TV, we have an opening for that
Let's
as well.
talk and we'll get it on the website too. Thank you.
It's brand new, so it just happened.
Awesome. Very full. If you guys know anything that's out there, please feel free to share it with us. If you hear of opportunities that are available,
You know?
like I don't know if anybody knew, but Atticus, as an example, had a whole residency and writing residency program that is now closed. I mean, it was closed as soon as I heard about it. And and it's advocates investing money in writers, investing and working with Linfield University. Actually, it's a joint program between the two. So if you hear about these things, please be sure to let us know, or you can even reach out to Britt, who is our newsletter person. Okay, so tons of partners. I want to see this. This list is going to grow, and there's companies that are not even on here, so I should make sure to make that statement. We are going to work to grow our partnerships as well as be more, offer more to our partners, because these partners are direct in working with AAYC as an organizational structure. But then there's also partners that are working with each of the programs as well directly. And so it's important to note that there are so many people, so many companies, so many organizations in our community who help to support and make this program, make this organization work. There's a lot of priorities. We're doing pretty good on time. I'm going to take about 2 or 3 minutes to talk about this. Some of the things that we're looking at doing in 2025 is to continue to enhance our organizational policies, our contractual processes, document retention and archiving. Keep moving that forward. You saw the stuff that Val said we've done in the last 5 years. We have to keep going. We can't stop, right? We have to keep moving that forward. Actively recruiting our board. So right now we're at 10 as of today at this very moment. When Bonnie, Val, and Donna leave the organization, we're at 7. AAYC has 13 board seats. We need those 13 filled. It would be great to have those 13 filled. So we need to work really hard. And that means doing some of the things that we've been doing, like we brought in Sean from Linfield University because that was really important to partner with our university. I've got lots of other people that I've been trying to pull in from our businesses around the organization. I talked about growing the partnerships, strengthening our fundraising efforts, coordinating our grants so that we can get larger chunks of money, not just a slice for one program, but larger chunks for all of us so that we can sustain and fund us through the years and continue doing that. And improving our AAYC experience. So updating the website. So that was the open opportunities is something that I just added this month. I want us to keep doing things like Britt has this brilliant idea of doing an artist directory. Wouldn't it be great if you could list your name and we could publicize to all the wineries who are looking for art? Just as an example. That's just a simple little use case there. A calendar of arts events. You know, you go out to Visit McMinnville as an example, or some of the other visit organizations, and they have these calendars of events, but they're like wine tasting and they're this and that. It would be really great if we knew all the different events and we just knew where to go, right? And how to track that. So grow our membership and our business benefits to help to enhance. So I'm going to just quickly AAYC programs and initiatives. So talked about the Arts Alive TV, trying to help find someone to help produce that program. The monthly newsletter, which you've seen has come out, we're going to continue to enhance that. Technical sessions for artists. I would like to start providing technical opportunities for artists to understand about AI, what that could mean, have some dialogue and conversation. It doesn't have to necessarily be hands-on, but doing some of those programs and adding some of those programs. Mentorship. Do you need any help, Courtney? No? Okay. Mentorship programs. She said yes on Saturday. So we're going to be partnering with Linfield University to have a graduate student is going to be working with the board so that we can start bringing them in and teaching them not just about the art community, but also about what it's like to be on a nonprofit, to give back to your community, to keep to that nonprofits are a business, all of those different things that are really important, and to also help to build their resume. But really, it's for them to teach us. There's so much stuff that we don't know. So having that two-way street of a mentor program is really important. So we're very excited about that piece. And then, of course, the recology, which I'm super excited about. So I think I say it about twice or 3 times. So that's where we are today. That's kind of some of the things that we're thinking about working on. So, Courtney, are you okay to come up and do your thing? Yay, we're moving into programs now.
Hi, I'm Courtney Terry. I'm the secretary, and I have been with the AAYC Education Committee for a while. I know. I can get even wild. But yeah, so the first thing that we usually start the year with is scholarship season, which is, it's pretty handy that a lot of the counselors and things at the high school reach out to us. So we had 2 students. One will be attending Western Oregon University. The other will be going to Utah State. I definitely want to give a shout out for Bonnie and Kim Foster, who was a board member earlier this year, and then she had to leave the board. They were the crux of, they were reaching out to the schools. They were making sure that the forms were out there. They have a really excellent rubric, since they both come from education. I am not from an educational background, and it has been really fun. And I didn't even have to like go shake people's hands at a work center. And like, it's like, you guys, it was like, that's how amazing it was. Took care of everything. And these scholarships, every year the scholarship applications are open now on our website. Yeah, Nike.
How much money were we able to offer these kids?
We typically offer $1,000 each.
Wonderful.
Yeah, if you do seniors of any school.
And yeah, application is on the website under open opportunities.
Thanks, Colleen. And then our arts education grant, this program's a little crazy, y'all. Last year we had got a huge response from all across the county. We had 8 different classrooms that we were able to fund projects in. We don't really change much year to year in terms of, we send it out to all of the school districts and all of the teachers. The outreach that we do trying to inform teachers that we have these grants available is a lot, and we still aren't getting the responses. So, I mean, in one lovely way, we didn't have to pick anybody to not receive an art grant. The unfortunate thing is there should be a lot more classrooms and a lot more art projects that we were able to fund. One of the ways that we're hoping to change that is this year is shifting the schedule for the art grants and start advertising them now, basically in the spring, and that way trying to catch teachers before they're out for the senior year, and then that way we don't have to try and catch them when they're trying to start their school year. So we're going to be playing around with the way that we do outreach in order to try and reach as many educators as possible. That being said, the Faulkner Chapman K-8 school in Sheridan will have 2 gathering drums, and that's the actual drum that they use. They're going to start using them at a school concert. I'll let Britt know if anybody all AAYC members want to go to the Faulkner Chapman School in Sheridan to see the Gathering Drum when they are performed with in concert. I'll be in the newsletter. Yeah, so I'm glad that we were still able to help one teacher in one classroom, but it's definitely a part of our programs that we want to do more outreach to see what we can do.
Wondering what's the max that you offer to the teachers?
Usually, we've said, and it kind of depends like what our budget is for the year, but it's been anywhere between $200 to $350, and it really, we kind of decide what the award amount is based on what our budget for that is in any given year, and then that's how we can divvy it up. Last year, as much as possible, and I'm able to give everybody an award. I like to do that, but yeah, there's funding.
And we usually vote if it goes over to do it.
Yes.
But some of the past programs have been really amazing programs, like kindergarten caking, great, all of that kind of stuff.
Yes, great with cutbacks. Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Thank you, Courtney. Courtney. Okay, I want to just touch super quick. We're going to go into our programs here. I just want to say two things about something Holly said earlier. One was that we are really looking for board members from specific places. We are losing any Newburgh board members, I believe, as of today, and we want more representation from Newburgh. We also want more representation from the outer areas, Amity, Willamina, Sheridan, Yamhill, Carlton. I don't believe we currently have any board members from those areas. So if you know of artists or musicians or writers or just people with skills, we're going to talk about this more, but we're looking for board members from other towns, although McMinnville rocks, but we are very well represented on this board. The one other thing I was going to say real quickly was that we have on our Facebook page, we have the ability to just put up events. So if you know events, definitely send them to Break for the newsletter, but also just send them to the AAYC board, the info@aaycor.org, and we put those up on our Facebook page, which I'm not sure how many people are looking at Facebook these days. But like Joe Wilkins, sent a thing about a reading at Linfield, and I always put those up. So if it's an art event in the county, we're happy to put that up. Music events, the fundraisers for Make Music and more. So
Really quick comment to that. We actually have a Blue Sky account.
All right.
cool.
We haven't used it yet, but we're there. We staked our claim.
So now we're going to go into the programs, and we're going to have a representative for each program come up here and talk a little bit. I think we have James coming up for Art Harvest first. I'm just going to go through these: Art Harvest, then Paper Gardens, then Terroir, then Make Music, and just give us a little tiny report about what you guys are up to. Doesn't have to be tiny.
Should be.
Tiny from our biggest program that year.
Thank you. Adele's not able to be here tonight. She was going to pick up part of this presentation, so I'll power through this. Last year was our 30th tour. Pretty amazing. Over those years, more than 250 artists have been involved in the tour, and if you add up all of the guests and visitors over those 30 years, and all of the art that was purchased over those 30 years, it's quite remarkable. It started out in 1993. There were 23 artists. In fact, 3 of those artists were on our tour last year. Wow. So some artists have been on the tour 25 years. It's quite remarkable. We're very excited. Last year, we had 63. So from the first time when it was 23, 30 years later, we had 63. It was kind of a special year. We had 18 new artists. Many of them had thought about it, but COVID came, and many of them had been thinking about it for a long time. We probably won't have that many every year. That was a very rare occurrence. About 20% of our artists decide not to be on the tour the next year for a whole host of reasons. Some move, some change, some didn't have a lot of success, so they felt it wasn't worth their time and energy. Others just taking time off so they can go around the tour themselves. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. We built our budget on 53. That's our optimistic budget figures. So we'll see what happens. Artists are sending in their applications now. Plus the new artists are as well. And we have a committee that sits down and looks at the slides, looks at their application form, accepts them. Then we have the work brought in so we can see it, because all those slides are not always representative of the real thing. So we get to look at the real work and make our final decision. And then the third part is the studio visit, which happens later in the year to make sure it's safe, make sure it's appropriate. And if not, we have recommendations for people for sharing studio space. So we do a lot of advising for the artists. We don't try to talk them out of it. But if it looks like they're kind of green and not quite sure what's happening, we do encourage them to go on the tour and possibly apply the following year. So last year we had about 1,200 visitors. We sold 1,100 buttons. We have people that drop in without a button. That's just the way it goes sometimes. And we had 45 locations, which is quite a lot, but it is Yamhill County. So we had the largest number we've ever had in Newburgh, 27, the usual amount in McMinnville, and we had the largest number we've ever had in Amity, which was 14. So we are stretching our artists out over the Yamhill County much better than it used to be. It was very McMinnville-centric. And so we're really proud that we're able to get some excitement out in the other areas. We had 9 locations sold our buttons last year, and they sold about 500, almost half of the buttons at those locations. So those are very important partners for us, encouraging the tour and helping us to raise the funds, which is so essential. The money we make from our buttons just about covers the cost of this amazing catalog. All of you know about. So that's a very important part of our fundraising strategy. Last year we had 3 exhibits. We had one downtown, the month of September, where every artist was invited to bring 2 or 3 pieces. It was open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We sold about $4,000 worth of art, which is always nice, but the goal is really to sell the buttons, to get people to come up there to look at the art, to decide where they might want to go when they go on the tour. We also had our biannual exhibit at the Cultural Center. Many of you had a chance to see that. 1 piece per artist. It's exquisitely installed, and also it's a way for people to look at the art and to buy a button and decide where they want to go. And the third exhibit is Newburgh artists are hosted at the Chehalis Valley Chamber of Commerce. And they do that every year, and we have special opening for the Newburgh folks. And it's also an exciting way to promote the tour. We do have a mentor program as well. About 3 years ago, Bonnie came up with this brainstorm. I think you'd met a student, or you sort of thought you could find some students in the Amity area that might be interested in working with the artist. And it started a little slow. We worked hard to find the students, but we didn't have a tremendous amount of success. But we built up quite a lot of good marketing materials. The next year, we had 10 students, and we featured them in the book, pictures of the students and the mentors they worked with. This year, we have 3 mentor instructors. 2 of them are here, and we have 8 students. So we're very excited about this program. The students get $150 for supplies, and we raise the funds so that we're able to pay the mentor instructors, and we think that's a real important part of it. This year, we had 3 sources of funding. The 99 Gal Friends Foundation supported us. We received some money from AAYC, and we also have received $1,000 from the Yamhill County Arts Coalition. So this year it was funded by 3 outside sources, although we put it in our budget so that in case we're not as successful with outside grants, we still are committed to doing this program. Some of us have visions of the Art Harvest Studio Tour Academy. So when you see that happen, that'll be very exciting because it's a great concept. Not all tour artists want people in their studios or even want kids around to teach, but a good many of them are very willing to share their expertise and to share the excitement about being a professional artist and how you market, how you sell, how you advertise, how you promote, and how do you allow your art to be part of your personality and express yourself. And these students, I've met all of them. I do get to all of the studios to meet students, and it is just amazing to watch how excited and committed they are. So it's a great program, and every year we do our best to fund it and promote it. So this is nope, I'm not ready for this one. Oh, okay. Well, I've got two parts. The second part is our book. We're doing a book, and the artists are going to have a chance. Here it is, the cover. Every artist is invited to have a picture and their statement in the book. Some artists get more than one picture. They've been in more than 10 years. And we're currently in the process of getting all those pages designed and then sent to the artist for approval through a artist release date. So we'd also have a few pages in there with art and poetry, 20 poets, selected work. If they wanted to, we were able to get the work for them so they could live with it for a while, and they wrote poems or writings about this. So there's 20 Yamskill-based writers in the book as well. And then we had a couple of artists who had special works that they wanted to talk about. So we have about 8 what we call art stories, which talk about the particular pieces they have and what it means to them and why they've done that work. So it's going to be a great book. It's going to be about 80 pages, quite nice. We got a good bid on the price for it, and we think we can sell it for $20. So they'll buy a button and the book, and for $30, and we hope to sell about 500 of those. The last slide just showed you what we're doing this year on the tour. I don't know how to get there.
So this slide?
Nope, that's what. This is our color this year. Last year it was red. So there's our button, and our due dates for the new artists is the 17th, and our encore artists are the 24th. So anyway, we're moving fast and furious through this year. Very excited about it, and we have a website. We have almost everything on the website. You can find information about it there, and you can always get a hold of me if you have any questions. We are looking for new artists. We have, where's my card? We have these cards out, and it's also posted everywhere. So we do want to encourage people to apply, or at least to visit with us and see whether they may be interested in the tour. Any questions? Yeah, you're pushing here, and I'm just about ready. That's okay. We do have 6 of our art harvest people here who were in the tour last year, and 2 who have been in the tour. So it's very exciting to see them participate in this event. David and Brittany have been amazing. I just want you to know we balanced to the penny last year. It was a challenge, but we were able to do it. We raised $56,000 from all these different sources, and that's quite commendable. Some of what we got raised was funds before, but it takes a lot of money to do the tour. And we did end up with a little extra, which is what we use to move forward in case we don't have a successful year this year, but I'm going to be optimistic. Right? That's correct. Absolutely. So thank you very much. Any questions? Next, number 3.
Thank you, James. Thank you for all your hard work. James has single-handedly raised all my funds over $1 the same person. Okay, so Paper Gardens, Deb Brooks.
Paper card.
There you go. No, it always has a delete slide, right? Okay, main thing, submission date, March 2nd. That's a week from yesterday. So if you know any writers We need to submit by midnight on March 2nd. We have a online submission process that has no room for submissions. So this is our book from last year. I'm sitting next to Ritzi, who's lived in Yamhill County for a long, long time, and she never heard of paper garbage. We really try to get this out here. It's our 32nd year this year, and it is a creative writing contest for writers, students, and adults who live, work, or go to school in Yamhill County. It's open to all those people. We've had a number of really successful years. We've had over 400 submissions. We have published judges who pick our prose and poetry to be published in the book, and you usually publish about 75 pieces in this book every year. We also get funding from various grant sources. We've been funded by the Cultural Coalition, the Kinston Foundation, and we got a Give a Little Foundation, a Yunnan Galpham's grant this year as well. Just to let you know a little bit about this year, our judges are, I think they're up here, sorry. If anybody wants a bookmark and knows some writers, take as many of these as you want. Happy send it for Fair Sunday at midnight. We only have 83 submissions so far, which is not unusual because things kind of come crashing in. We haven't had a lot of student submissions this year, but some good adult stuff is coming in. Our judge, Kari Luna, and these are both Portland authors. This is Kari Luna, writes prose. She got an Oregon Book Award for young adults literature. Harold Martin, she was an English professor, and she is also a Fort Worth poet. So we always have these great professional writers who judge our stuff. And Paper Gardens is a great opportunity for writers of all, I'm not even talking this here. It's a great opportunity for writers of all ages to not only get the experience of submitting to a publication, but also we have a celebration, which is the part, you know? Yep, right here. You agree? May 6th, right? Tuesday, May 6th. And many AAYC board members come there and support us. And that is a chance for all of the published writers to get up and share their work to the audience. And last year we had almost 300 people there, their family, friends, and supporters. So this is the literary arts in Yamhill County, and we're very grateful to AAYC for supporting us. So if you want a bookmark,
Thank you, Deb. Appreciate it. Now we're going to have Lisa talk about Terroir Creative Writing Festival. It's only taken me 5 years to be able to say terroir. I can't speak French. It's okay if you say it the American way.
Terroir.
Terroir. I'm Lisa Weidman, and I've been, when I left the board as board president after several years, I joined the committee that was founded by another former board president, Barbara Drake, to create this festival. We are now going into, this is going to be our 13th festival. We skipped a couple of years during the pandemic. As you can see from the middle of the slide, it's going to be on May 3rd. It's an all-day conference about writing for writers, ages 7th grade and up. Typically, mostly it's adults who come. Deb, I promise next year we won't hold it quite so close to the Paper Garden celebration. We normally do it in April, and there just wasn't a Saturday in April that kind of worked out for us. We're moving to a new venue, and I think in some ways that's the most exciting announcement right now. It's the Stoller Experience Center. So if you've ever, it's at the Stoller Family Estate, and if you've ever been to the Stoller Tasting Room, it's not that big. It's another building nearby with its own parking lot. And it's a rental venue that they created during the pandemic. And so they've had a lot of weddings there, but not too many other community events. And they were really excited about hosting this writing conference. And so they actually gave us a pretty good deal. They threw all of our beverages in with the rent, which normally would have cost us several $100s. So that's really nice. And here's us. Whoops.
You hit the wrong direction. Sorry again. You told me. Here's a picture I took of the outside of the building, just in case you go and want to like try to find your way there. There we'll have information about how to find it, and it's not hard to find if once you find Stoller, which is off of Highway 99W, very near where it joins with Highway 18 on the northeast side of McMinnville. And it's a very nice facility. So this is the front side. The back side is all glass, and it looks out up the hill towards the vineyards. Although there's also a tent outside, a heated tent, and we'll be using that too. So that's on the patio on the back side. Oh, okay. Now kind of like down. Yes. So no up, but I got it. Just like last year, we're gonna make it possible to register to attend 2 ways: online on the AAYC website, and also there'll be a printable form there that you can download and mail in if you want to pay with a check. We're hoping to open registration in mid-March. I need to get together with you about that. So hopefully a 3-week time frame will work. I also wanted to just acknowledge that we won a $2,500 grant from the Yamhill County Cultural Coalition this year. And of course, I mean, we don't really consider AAYC a sponsor. We consider it the sponsoring organization, of course, because we are under the AAYC umbrella. And a listed Stoller family stayed there too. They're not, making a cash contribution, at least not yet. But they are giving us a really good price on renting the place for the day. And it's just a really nice space, and there's technology available for our speakers and so on. And for those of you who have never gone to the festival, I'll just let you know that we have some plenary sessions where everybody's together in one big room with a keynote speaker or a panel discussion. And then we have breakout sessions where we have 3 different sessions on different forms of writing or genres or styles of writing going on at the same time. So we always need a place where we have, other classrooms, not just the one big room. And here's a list of the speakers and workshop leaders that we have lined up. There's one more name I can add to this list that I just got confirmed today, and that is Christopher Luna, a poet from Vancouver, Washington, which will mark the first time in all these years that we've had a speaker who wasn't from Oregon. We've been able to have put together incredible programs, all with speakers from Oregon. But he's just across the river. He's an honorary Oregonian. So I just put, very brief descriptions of what they're going to be talking about, but we're also going to have a publishing panel with 3 different people who are either publishers or an agent, talking about some of the concerns that people have when they are trying to get published for the first or second or third time. So I think it'll be a really good festival this year. We have our own website where a lot of information gets uploaded over the next weeks and months to share. And we have about what, who the speakers are, more detail about the sessions. You can also sign up for an email that comes out periodically that gives detailed information. And then we also have a Facebook page, Cherbourg Creative Writing Festival, where we are posting updates on who's going to be speaking and what the sessions are going to be. And that's where we're also going to be posting information about how to find the venue. And then if anybody in the room has any questions for me, you can email me at that address there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Speaker Wall is really an amazing event. I've gone for the past couple of years, and I had the privilege of being a speaker this past year, and I really recommend it. You're all into writing. And now we have our Make Music representatives. Freddie, are you going to be the one talking?
Yeah.
Freddie Lamb and Todd Severson from the Make Music McMinnville Committee.
All right, thank you, Val. Thank you, AAYC, for having us and putting us underneath your umbrella. So we'll make it real quick. 2024 was our fourth year. We started in 2021. It was just three of us on the committee, myself, James Howe, and our friend Darlene. And from that, we've grown to, there's seven of us now on the committee. But last year, we had, for the first time, we did a fundraiser concert series. So we did 3 concerts leading up to June 21st, every other month, and chose a couple different local businesses. That way we could have live music there, but also bring people to that business to help them as well. Make Music Day, it's international. It started in France in 1984. So the Make Music Committee will give us musical instruments, drums, harmonicas, whatnot. We can get lessons, and then everyone gets to keep whatever they keep the harmonica that they play on. And we did that this last year, and went really well. We partner with the Parks and Rec. That way we can have music here at the park and different places that they can help us cover permits and things like that. We had a very successful kids stage at Hopscotch, which was like a hit all day long. And that's the coolest thing about Make Music Day. It's like, it doesn't matter your age, where you're from, you just come make some music and have a good time in beautiful downtown McMinnville. And then and another place that we had a concert was Mac Market this year. We did it inside Hayward restaurant because it was closed that day. So it was kind of cool to see this nice nominated restaurant become a little concert venue for afternoon. So thank you, Todd, and Mac Market for that. So 2025, and we got a lot more sponsorships last year. 2025, we're looking forward to Make Music Day because it falls on Saturday, June 21st. And that's going to be the first day of Mac Fresco. So Third Street is going to be shut down. So we can have music like every block, and we'll kind of alternate throughout the day, so we don't, so people don't, their sound isn't louder than the next artist. And then we look forward to continued partnership with Parks and Rec, the MDA, and Hopscotch. And then we discovered they do a music conference in a few different cities in the United States, and we're hoping maybe this year to make it to one of those and connect with other people from the main music organization. And we just want to keep building music as you want to build art. Music at McMinnville, keep it strong because it's a beautiful thing. It gets people together, and I feel music is magical, and it's nothing better than bringing people together over something so cool. Todd, would you like to say anything?
No.
You were just here to represent, so we did some, and I'm appreciate everything you do.
And yeah, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And Holly, I didn't mention, it was probably on the screen, that if anybody does want to submit, you can go to the AAYC website, Trade Gardens page, and there's a submit button.
Yeah, and the fast track is go to AAYC. There's open opportunities, and you can look at everything that's there, and I have you there, and I'll remove you. I have it on my calendar to remove you.
March 2nd. Yep, March 2nd. I already know him.
So that's awesome. And thank you very much. I mean, you guys are all amazing. Your programs are phenomenal. The work that you do and working with you is so amazing. All of you are just so supportive of our organization. Oh, up here? Like that? Okay, sorry. This is not one of those directional mics. So I really appreciate all the hard work. James, you're phenomenal. Everybody raves about you all around everywhere in Yamhill County. We can bring up our Harvest Studio Tour. They know exactly what I'm talking about, right? We have to make sure that never happens again. You should never meet anyone that doesn't know who Paper Gardens is, right? And we're going to keep doing that. I mean, Make Music McMinnville is phenomenal, and Terroir. I'm actually going to attend this year as a student. I'm excited about that. I'm working on my memoir. What's next? Okay, so volunteers. So it's really important to think about all these programs and how much work it takes to run these programs and to run the organization. And we want to keep growing because you've heard about all the educational things that we're doing with students. You're hearing about different residency programs, your opportunities for artists to make them to publicize them, to get them out there, all of that kind of stuff. And I think it's really important. And I want you to understand that you don't have to be an artist to help contribute. You don't have to be an artist to participate. You have to have a love for art and a love for community. And that's what's really important. And I think we all can grow and heal from art, whether we do it or we enjoy it or we appreciate it. However it is, we all learn from that. And so that's why I've actually been going out for the board and trying to recruit people who actually know how to run business and not necessarily a painter or a writer or a sculptor. Now, that does not mean that we will take the board away from doing that, because I think that's also important to keep that piece there, because being an artist is very different than running a business. But there are practices that also are really important about that can be applied to artists. So you get my point. You all get my point, what I'm trying to say. So I'm done now. You can see some of these skills. If you know anyone who's looking to sort of get out of their shell and wants to potentially participate in community, this is a great way to do that. And so, yeah. And then I'm going to just cry now. Take a minute. And just say that I've learned so much from Donna, and just Donna they can read the slides. I can just say to you from my own heart that the kindness and the gentleness that comes from you is always so inspiring, and I really appreciate it, and I know that the board has appreciated it. And having you be there as someone who was there from the team when I first joined, you made me feel welcome, even though I had no idea what I was doing. And I didn't understand how AAYC worked. Not a clue. And so I really appreciate you putting up with me, and Val and whatever, Courtney, because the three of us were all recruited by Mike. It's all his fault. Go ahead, Mike. Stand up.
I think Mike has recruited more people to the board
Than any other person. Because I think he recruited you too as well, didn't he?
No, Chris did, but I mean, just the process of how long I have been there.
Right.
He has brought in
So many
people.
I know.
Thank you, Mike.
And people that are still here. So that's good. You brought in sustaining people. So that's important, Mike.
Yeah, I'm analog. And I knew that analog wasn't going to make it. That's why I invited you guys, different generations.
Well, big hearts to you, Mike, for sure. So I just want to say thank you to you for everything. And I know that the board and all the appreciation of all the programs that you've participated in, and thank you for that. And then I feel the same way for you, Bonnie. I mean, all the hard work that you've done for just everything related to the students and the mentorship programs, and inspiring me to feel, to feel stronger about going out. Because I think I talked to you about the Linfield University students and just kind of going out there and all of that kind of stuff. So thank you for all of that. And I really appreciate it. And my heart will miss you guys. And then this is really I don't know how many times I've spent time with Val and just. I mean, the millions of hours. I mean, I can't even describe how many hours Val spends, working at every month, participating, building, leading. All of the work that you have done on the program and on Arts Alliance is just, I'm going to really miss you. So actually, I'm not going to miss you that much because I will be calling.
And you're yeah, exactly.
But I'm really going to miss you. Working with you has been really great because you and I have been doing the president, vice president for the last 3 years. And then Courtney, right? The three of us, we've been like the three Mouseketeers.
And I sent in a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you guys. Yeah.
So
Yeah, so we will be calling her, right? Pointing to you, cause.
And that's really, I think, I just want to say that, like, yeah, just hug us. Right, I think that's it, right? Yeah, what the, wait, I'm much swing around way. Oh, yeah, and elections, Oh, yeah, elections.
Thank you, Haley. And thanks again to everybody. And all of, I just want to give also just a quick shout to all of the volunteers who aren't here tonight. On every program, there are 5 to 15 volunteers and more on event days. There's so many people, from the people who show up to Terroir to help on the day and to put the whole thing together, to the people who come to Paper Gardens and put out the seats and do the goodies, and you know, all of our harvest artists who all have to put in time to help with that festival, the committee for Make Music, and all the volunteers. Actually, the last couple of years I've coordinated the volunteers who show up to the event the day of to make sure the artists, the musicians, know where to go stand. So it's not just the 10 board members and then the 5 or so program committee people who are here tonight. There's a whole crew of about, 20 to 50, at least, other people who put in time throughout the year. So thank you to all those people. And please, all program people, make sure they know that they are really appreciated. So with that, we are just about done. I know we've gone a little bit over. Thank you for being patient. I did want to announce we had a successful election, and we had a total of 32 votes between online and here. And Courtney and Holly, I guess you have to come back because you just both got reelected. And let's see, with that, I want to say thank you. I do want to open up the floor. I know we've gone a little bit over, but does anyone have any questions while we are here in captive? And you can ask us questions. Anyway, yes?
I don't have a question, but I have a suggestion to get volunteers. Can you put something in the McMinnville class news register classified ads?
That's brilliant.
Helping hands. Looking for volunteers.
So this is why you're actually on our voting to. Maggie is previously agreed, and we're going to vote on it.
Maggie put in an application after we had already done the board nomination thing. Right. So Maggie will most likely be voted on and will be joining the board as well. And she's been a long time our harvest volunteer. So
I'm really big on free stuff. Yes, so I can get it in the free, 500 and less right now. There's a lot of people that are looking for stuff to do, right?
Oh, my God.
James and Amy?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so my son applied for a scholarship 4 years ago, and he's going to be graduating with a music composition degree from Western Oregon University.
Right, cool.
And so, thank you all.
Didn't he get the scholarship?
Yes, you did. Yeah. And music is his life, and so it's kind of cool, kind of be here to see how, awesome under workings of things. And I just wanted to say about the teacher grants. So I'm also part of the music boosters. We put on the music program at the community center in January. And we get a bunch of teachers submit things they're winning, wishing stars, and not Oliver Burnett. So I wonder if we could coordinate and figure out how we can get then some of the things that they ask me, we don't raise enough money all the time.
That have to do with music?
Yes, all about music. Yeah, it's all music teachers in the district asking for, some ukuleles or some strings or a drum or some music or something.
Great. Definitely you guys all, Holly, connect Courtney and Jamie, and that was
Jamie
awesome.
added to my list already, right here.
Cool. Anything else? Any other comments? We'll be here sticking around, cleaning up. There's some more food in the back. Please help yourself before you go. Holly?
Yeah, just really quick, just so you know, we're going to be huddling up here in the front, the existing 6 that are here, board members, to go through a little bit of board business. If you want to listen in, you are welcome as members, just so you know. We're not excluding you, but it's also boring, so you don't have to. I don't know if you know, but you can actually join every board meeting that we have. We're in a small conference room at Visit McMinnville, so it's not like it's huge, but if you might email us and let us know if you want to attend, but they are open. And we put our board meeting minutes out of the website.
Yes, thank you, and have a good night, and safe going home. Thank you to all for coming.